A little bit of a break that actually sticks around for once, right? Not just a couple of days of lower humidity, but something that lasts straight through the end of this week all the way into next weekend. Something else I wanted to show you though is we've been in low tide throughout a good chunk of the morning, finally starting to get high tide. Can you see how high the water is already? And it's bowing out right here. So right across Boone County, especially if you're in Burlington, I'd say within the next 15 minutes, we'll likely have some winds upwards of 50, if not 60 miles per hour. You know, we get two dry days in between the storm system. It falls on the weekend, but then we get to opening day and it just comes right on back. But you know what? There's going to be some breaks in the rain. So it's not going to be an all-day rain, and we'll try and time those out here in just a second. We have a band of snow starting to move into southeastern Indiana, moving into Cincinnati, close to, I'd say, 7, 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. We're looking forward to much quieter weather this weekend and lower humidity. Big changes on the way. But for now, in Westchester, Brandon Orr, Local 12 News. Well, finally, we're much cooler. We've been waiting on this for how long now, with the temperatures into the upper 80s to around 90 degrees. Now we're not significantly below average. We're just cooler than where we've been. Average is right around 73 degrees. Today we'll make it to around 76, which is just a couple of degrees warmer than yesterday. You're really not going to notice much of a difference. Now, the one takeaway you should take from today is actually it's going to cool down quick tonight. High school football, 64 degrees by around halftime, 62 by the final play. There's going to be some places into the upper 50s by the time we get to the final plays of the game later on. Now it's going to get even cooler as we go into the weekend. The reason is this cold front. This is actually originating up in central Canada. It's not over water, it's over land, so there's not much moisture with it. That's why we're keeping the forecast nice and dry as we get into the weekend. The one thing you're going to notice is that it's going to be around 5 or so degrees cooler as we go into Saturday. High temperatures right around 71. Low temperature Saturday night into early Sunday, 49. We're going to be into the 40s starting out on Sunday. We are going to be a little bit warmer by Sunday afternoon, 74, but that's the start of a warming trend. As high pressure moves off to the east, we take a wind shift. So instead of the winds coming in from the north this weekend, it actually comes in from the south. That does some big time work on our temperatures. Check it out on Monday. We're up to around 78 degrees, 79 on Tuesday, and then we're back to 80 degrees before we know it, the middle of next week. Also, no rain on the 7-day forecast except on Thursday of next week, and even that's a pretty small chance. And if we take a look beyond the 7-day forecast, so the week after the 7-day, we have a pretty high chance of above average temperature. The richer the color, the higher chances are that we're going to be above average. So the takeaway of this is if you like the cooler weather, enjoy it this weekend. Warm weather is here to stay. A little bit of a break that actually sticks around for once, right? Not just a couple of days of lower humidity, but something that lasts straight through the end of this week all the way into next weekend. So it's looking really, really nice. 60 degrees is where we're sitting for the time being. A lot of us into the 50s as well. So we have a pretty cool start to today. We have a few clouds. If you look closely, you can see some of those. They're very thin, so they're very hard to show up on our satellite. Some of the rainfall is still on off towards Illinois at the closest point. However, a lot of these showers are going to stay off to the west with a storm system that's not really moving in our direction very quickly. So we're keeping the forecast dry. 73 by around 1 o'clock, 77. That's going to be our high temperature, hitting that close to around 5 o'clock or so with lots of sunshine in between some of these high thin clouds that we're seeing. That's going to make for a really nice sunset a little bit later on tonight as well. So a really nice day on the way. 78 degrees coming up for tomorrow. Also looking dry, just a few clouds in the afternoon, and that's about it. Lots of sunshine in between. Here's a look at Hurricane Harvey churning in the western Gulf of Mexico. It's making a beeline towards Corpus Christi, Texas. We're seeing a larger eye in this storm over the past hour or so develop, which may mean this storm is actually strengthening more than it already is. You can see it here on radar. What's happening here? It looks like this smaller eye of the storm is being replaced by maybe a larger one right around the edge, and that can cause some strengthening by later on this morning. The maximum sustained winds within this storm right now, 110 miles per hour as it's nearing Galveston, Texas. You can already see this is the pier out there in Galveston. It's getting beat up pretty hard already, and the storm is still pretty far away, more than 100 miles. In fact, the tropical storm force winds really haven't made a good impact on the coast quite yet. That's going to happen here over the next few hours. Hurricane force winds moving in later this afternoon into this evening. 125 mile per hour gust. It's moving pretty slowly, 10 miles per hour, but it's going to slow down even more, if not just stall out once it moves just onto the coastline, and that's going to cause a big problem. A stalled out hurricane of this strength will produce rainfall amounts upwards of 35 inches. It floods here in Cincinnati with only 4 inches. What about 35 inches of rain? Catastrophic flooding expected in eastern Texas in the coming days. A few more showers and thunderstorms Monday, Tuesday into Wednesday, and then watching the remnants of Harvey, could see a little bit of moisture move our way by Thursday. We'll be right back.